today had an opportunity to go out and give some service to help one another. We have a fellow who's covering this. You're representing who, please?
Yonkers Voice.
The Yonkers Voice. And if they want to see this, what do? They're on Facebook?
They can go on yonkersvoice.com.
Yonkersvoice.com. Okay.
They can join a group called Yonkers Voice Central.
Okay.
And they can see the entire thing.
Okay. It'll be, knowing the captain, we start with yonkersvoice.com. Probably it'll be cspan.com the next time we have coverage. I'm sure of that. He's a very influential man. He's not just big with hockey and crime. He's also involved with the media. So at any rate, we expect to at least be able to pay attention to two new people on the city council. Mike Cater, who is the city council president, as you know, and the newly elected, and then the appointed Shanae Williams. And so we have a little cake, a little smaller cake. I didn't think with the weather and so forth, it really needed to have a big cake. So, but you can't have your cake and eat it, but in this case, please do it. All right? So that's what's going to happen. Now, my friend in the back there, George, representing the mayor, pointed out that John Rubo has a little piece of that. And so we would have gotten a cupcake, I guess, because it's a little piece of the district. But actually, he comes the next time, we'd be more than happy to. So we thank you for looking out for your fellow American on the city council. Okay. So let's begin with our captain, please.
Sure, great. Thank you, Bob. As always, as everybody knows, the 3rd Precinct Community Council, we meet here the 3rd Tuesday of each month. Obviously, we have our meeting tonight, and our next meeting, I think, tentatively scheduled for February 20th, I think, Kathy, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So the meetings are great. This is a great informational exchange we have here at the 3rd Precinct Community Council meetings since September. I think every meeting's been productive. We've assisted people. We've learned things that we didn't know about, and we were able to put some information out that I think some of the public wasn't aware of services that we have, not only here in the 3rd Precinct, but department-wise. So just to give you some updates, some stuff that's going on, we have great news on our end here, basically on our end-of-year crime statistics. So we're down year-to-date in property crimes, 21% in the 3rd Precinct. All right, we're also down 21% in violent crime in the 3rd Precinct. This undoubtedly is due to the good work of the men and women who work next door in the precinct that put the uniform on every day. But another huge component of that is the public, because we really cannot do our jobs effectively without the public. Information that we get in these types of meetings, community meetings, our anonymous tip line and other methods that we exchange information back and forth with the public. This is a big part of why we feel we're doing well and bringing crime down here, in the 3rd Precinct and in the city. So I want to thank you for all that you've done for us and helping us grow those bonds and relationships that you have with our officers. That being said, no amount of crime is an acceptable amount of crime. Every victim is a true victim, and we're always going to work harder to help people that are victims of crime. That's our primary responsibility. So next year we're obviously looking to do even better. I'm fortunate to have a great Lieutenant Mulvey here as my executive officer. So he does a lot of the planning and staffing for me during the day. So just want to thank our people and thank you for the successes we had. I just took the helm in September. Captain Campanini ran the ship from January to September, so he deserves a lot of the credit too. Everybody here in the 3rd did a great job. Today, both suspects involved in the shooting of 3rd Precinct Police Officer Kayla Moore were both arraigned on a grand jury indictment for charges related to that incident. One of the suspects, Valencia, faces up to life in prison, and suspect Reyes faces up to 15 years in prison for criminal possession of weapon charges. So we're following that case very closely. Obviously, Kayla was one of our officers who was shot that night, so we had officers up in court today that were showing support for Kayla. And just an update on Kayla, she's doing very well. I speak to her weekly. She's recuperating, has a little bit of nerve damage and some other stuff to her chin, so we wish her the best, and we hope to see her back in uniform soon here in the 3rd Precinct. She's a tough cop, a tough person, and we're all glad to know her. Our 3rd Precinct Twitter feed continues to grow. Please spread the word. So we can be found at Yonkers PD3. So as we mentioned last meeting, the department has a citywide Twitter feed, but we had so much success with social media lately that the decision was made to give each precinct their own Twitter feed. So you can follow us at Yonkers PD3. It's a great forum for us to get information out. I can show it to you after. I have my iPad here, how to get on. We put out crime tips. For example, I just put out a tweet a little while ago that alternate side of the street parking is suspended tomorrow. Meters are still in effect. Little things like that that may help you. If we have a fire or a traffic scene somewhere, we'll tell you which streets to avoid, that kind of stuff. So it's a good forum if you're a Twitter person. If not, there's other venues that you can look towards. We put out citizen alerts. You can give us your, you can sign up via your email and receive citizen alerts from the 3rd Precinct. Just some other crime news. We recently made an arrest of 2 suspects that were involved in multiple burglaries in buildings where there's laundromats. So basically these 2 individuals were going inside buildings, and the way laundromats are set up today is they have a cash box on the wall. People put the cash in, they get a credit card. It's like basically like a library card, and they use that for credits for the washer and the dryer. So these people had knowledge of these boxes where they were. They were coming in and hitting that box and taking the money. So we did an excellent job. Our anti-crime unit, our plainclothes units, we set them up during the times these crimes are being committed, and we were able to make an arrest of the 2 individuals. And since that arrest was made, 10 days? Yes. Probably about a week ago, we made that arrest. There haven't been any more. So we feel these 2 were responsible for many of these laundry room burglaries. So again, hats off to our 3rd Precinct anti-crime unit, plainclothes guys, and our patrol officers who stepped up their patrols in these buildings during the midnight hours. So that was great. That was a great arrest our guys have made. We currently have a current class of recruits that just graduated from the Westchester County Police Academy. That's called Zone 3. So yeah, they did a good job. So hopefully we'll have some of these officers, after they're done with their field training, assigned to the 3rd Precinct. We'll get some more officers here down the 3rd, which is always good news. We always wish for more people down here. So I think this class was about 20 officers. And we just put in another one. I think we're going to put in another one. So what happens is when they come out, that's just the basic requirements for New York State for them to be police officers. And then they go through our training division where they learn local Yonkers city ordinances, our policy and procedures. So we're hoping in a couple of weeks we'll have them, men and women, out helping us too, which is great.
Do we have to share them, or is that all coming to the 3rd?
No, they'll be going to different spots. So wherever there's vacancies in the chart, as we call it, that's where we'll be put. But we'll definitely be getting some in the 3rd. Exactly how many, I don't know, but we'll get some in the 3rd.
Maybe 19 out of the 20?
That'd be great. I'll take all 20. How about all 20? Take them all. One of the things that I'd like to do, maybe make it a goal here for the this year, 2018, is just to get people involved from Nodine Hill, not only in our meetings that we have here now, but I was actually a little shocked to find out there's no Nodine Hill Residents Association per se. Like Park Hill has a Residents Association, Ludlow Park, they have a neighborhood association. I'd like it not to come from the police department. It'd be good if, the stakeholders, people who live up there and people like West Hab, maybe get involved and, start, London, you have a lot more contacts up there than me, and start a neighborhood association, because it's a great...
We used to have one. When I first moved there was one there, but unfortunately through the years...
Yeah, so we'd love to, have people that actually live up there, be part of it. And it's just very easy for me. Like we had an parking issue recently in the Park Hill, and I was able to just fire out a quick couple of emails to the Park Hill Residents Association. And then, they spread it out to their board and their people and their page. So it just would help me immensely. So I'm going to try to follow up on that, and maybe through City Hall and some other contacts, we could get a Residents Association going up there. Maybe have a representative from that association come to our 3rd Precinct Community Council meetings. It'd be a home run for us. So.
Anything to do to help. I still have a lot of resources there. I have some ideas that I can share later on.
Yeah, so that would be great. And just along those lines, we have a question? Just along those lines, we have a tentative date for National Night Out. And as everybody knows, National Night Out's always in August, so it looks like it's going to be August 7th, 2018, and I think we're going to keep it up there at Sullivan's Oval. That was a great spot. And I think we're going to be doing National Night Out back up there again. One of the programs that I'm involved in, and it's doing great, many members of the department, including myself, play ice hockey. We've played it our whole lives, some of us in high school and college, and we wanted to use it as a forum to reach out to some of the kids who live here. So we applied for a grant with the NHL Players Association called the Goals and Dreams Program, and we actually got the grant. So we got about $15,000 to buy equipment. Yeah, it's a great program. So I have it up here. I'm going to have the poster if you can take one. We have 20 kids signed up already. We only have 25 spots. There's only 5 spots available. So it's for boys and girls aged 7 to 9 who live in the city and get either free or reduced lunch at school. This is for underprivileged kids. It's for kids that normally would not have access to hockey. I can tell you as a hockey dad, it's a very expensive sport. I probably spend about $4,000 to $5,000 a year on my son's hockey. So it's incredibly expensive once you get into it. So these kids won't have to pay a dime, their parents. It's a learn to play program. We're already doing the floor hockey up to PAL, and we'll be transitioning to ice hockey soon at Murray Skating Rink. So if anyone knows any boys or girls 7 to 9, please take one of these here tonight. Again, it's another community outreach program that we have here. We have fun doing it. All the instructors are Yonkers cops, so it's another way for us to just connect with some of the local kids. That's about all I have, Bob.
Great. One of the things we should also point out is that we have had such great relationships with the captains. And Captain Campanini, for example, Dan Campanini, I remember thinking anybody replacing him would be impossible, would have a tough job, because he was such a popular captain and was so responsive. So along came this man without a haircut, and he
just a short haircut, just a short one.
And he has captivated everybody as well by the responsiveness. And I wish that you would kind of spread the word that when we have these meetings and things come up, they're not forgotten about it, that they take copious notes, and between him and Lieutenant Mulvey, they address those issues, and they're really truly paid attention to. So we want to thank the captain again for all that he does, and the fact of the matter is he goes over and above the salary that he makes. And so when you bring anything to his attention, please come back with 5 more people to just say, look, you want to see what happens when you show up? I know myself when I'm talking to people and they'll say, well, why don't you bring this up and why don't you bring that up? And I said, why don't you come and do it yourself? That's, you see all the people from 500 Riverdale, they're not here except for Beatrice. But at any rate, that's what we need to do, to try to bring more people, because I think we have an exciting community council. Now we have, look at this table first. Anybody here that has anything?
Just one thing, Bob, before we start. I know there is a camera here tonight, but what we did ask is just the camera is fixed to us up here and not on anyone at the meeting here tonight. So I don't want to discourage anybody from bringing up any kind of information. So I was assured by the member of the media that's here tonight that no one's faces will be shown, and if you do have anything, bring it up, or if you feel more comfortable after, you can approach me. I'll stay extra after if you like. So,
what he really said is nobody's as good looking as he is.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Bob. Okay. So we'll start off. Anyone have any questions?
So, hello, good evening. My name is Iris. I'm a Park Hill resident. So a quick question for you would be just quality of life, you know, concerns or questions. So I've noticed that when you come off the Parkway, off the Sawmill, entry into Park Hill, there's a New Testament church there, and I've noticed that there's graffiti now on their gate. And it's cold now, and I know that they can't clean it, but things of that nature, entering into Park Hill, you know, we address garbage, we know that, you know, the 1-800 number, but just things that take away from...
Now you're talking about the old
yes.
synagogue?
Yes, now
okay.
the New Testament. So, you know, what is it that, you know, I've made a phone call asking that, you know, at some point can they, you know, attempt to clean the graffiti off, because it is an eyesore.
Sure.
You know, and...
Sometimes it helps if we reached out to them, like it is private property, so we can't force them, but definitely the lieutenant will reach out to them.
Right, so it's a shared fence, and there's a homeowner on one side and the church on the other. Don't know. I know I've addressed it. It's been there for a few months now, and it'd be nice to have it removed, and any other graffiti that, you know...
Sure. We'll reach out to the property owner. We definitely encourage them to do that. We take a look at the graffiti first, actually, to make sure it's not gang graffiti.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it is, we'll document it. But we'll definitely, Lieutenant will be having someone reach out to the property owner and take a look at that.
But again, quality of life, just altogether.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, you know, that quality of life's a big deal, and we want to address those issues.
So while we're on that subject, I'm originally from North Hill. I live in Park Hill now. But there was an incident that happened in Nodine Hill in the store, and I don't know if you're aware of it, I would assume that you did, where a lady went in there and just started ripping everything apart. And what I would like to try to do is utilize Sullivan Oval. I know, to give an example, Annunciation made an agreement to get that baseball field built, that they kept up the maintenance, they built a little like a clubhouse. How do we get something like that going? Because I think that probably what makes it challenging at Nodine Hill is that there's not a lot of activities, and for many different reasons, whether it's a money situation or just people don't feel comfortable leaving their block, if you will. But I think that when at least when I was active doing things in that park, I found that a lot of the crime was reduced and people began to know one another, so it became a little more challenging to be disrespectful. How do we kind of get back to that?
One of the things that we've done, and we had a problem, we had a burglary pattern back in September at Boyle Park, is one of our officers, she's actually received training in environmental, how can I call it, an environmental analysis of crime. So what she did is she went to Old Boyle Park and found that the lighting was out, benches were in disrepair. These are the things sometimes that attract maybe some undesirable behavior. So we were able to notify the Parks Department. She writes up, she does like a survey. It's almost like an audit. She walks through, she waited for it to be dark out, indicates where where street lights are out, park lights are out, benches, and we try to work when we can, when it's city property, things like that. So maybe that's something we could do up in Sullivan's Oval, is have Officer Mulligan go through, take a look, see what kind of needs repair. You know, everything does cost money, which you know, which is tough. But
I can probably round up between 5 to 7 older gentlemen that we pretty much, when we get together, we clean up the park. We have our own brooms. We just do everything ourselves for the most part, and they kind of maintain everything.
That'd be
if
great.
I can develop that relationship with you guys, I think that not only does it give them more credibility, but I think that probably more people would want to get involved because they'll see a partnership.
We also have a program with the students from Lincoln Watts, our Let's Grow Together program, where they clean up a park every year. This year they cleaned up the Memorial Park, the War Memorial Park on Park Hill Avenue. What's the name? What's the official name? It's basically opposite like Waverly, the park over there, right on Park Hill, or the Columbus Park.
Yes,
Columbus
right,
Park.
right.
So they clean that one up. Maybe we could ask the kids, and they team up with cops, so the cops clean up actually with them.
Well, I'm talking about there are people within the community that I think will do that on a permanent basis.
That'd be great.
We kind of already do it, but I just think that if I can somehow make that introduction, then I think that it would be beneficial on both sides.
Sure. I think it's something we should explore. Maybe speak to DPW, and maybe they could provide bags and stuff for.
Okay.
Definitely worth exploring. Any improvements in environmental conditions, it's been shown can help out with crime, particularly quality of life stuff. If someone sees a park all lit up and it looks in pretty good shape, they may not want to do their business there. They may move on to another location that's dark. So I'm with that.
Do we have anything back here from that table? Okay. Anybody over here? Go.
Hi.
Please identify yourself.
I'm Whitney Grimat. I'm with the Yonkers Coalition for Youth. We are in the process of compiling a list of free and low-cost activities during the week of winter recess in February for Yonkers youth. So if anybody's aware of any activities that are happening, please let me know. I'll be happy to give you my information. And if you are looking for activities to place your children in or your youth, we should have that information on our website, hopefully by the end of this month.
Okay, also is there anybody else that has any kind of concerns with regard to the quality of life here in Southwest Yonkers? Okay, I'd like to now just ask that those who are officials, if you have anything to report, and I would only ask that you kind of keep it so that we're not here for the rest of the evening. So this is by way of saying, a couple of minutes or whatever you want to give a report, but not that goes on and on and on and on, okay? I appreciate that. We appreciate you being here. So, Corazon?
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year.
Do you want to come up?
Sorry, come up.
Come on up.
I'm still cold, so I have my gear on. But Happy New Year, everyone. And it's great to be here.
Councilwoman Williams and I are late because, as you all know, we have our council meetings on the same day. But we're basically, I think most of us are here to listen, to continue to hear your concerns. I missed basically the whole meeting, so I don't know what was addressed today. But just know that we are here to be of service to you, to be helpful in whatever way that we can. Today was our first meeting as a new body. It was a great meeting, and our council president, Michael Cater, just walked in. So we're excited for what's to come, for the new majority, and really to push good things for our community and to continue to push Yonkers forward. So I encourage all of you to reach out if you haven't, if you need my assistance with anything, please feel free to call or contact my office. We are here to help. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Councilman Shanae Williams. For those of you who don't know me, I'd like to just, say Happy New Year first. It's still very new to me anyway. And yesterday we celebrated Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it was just a great time. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go to any events or get involved, but it's so important that we take a page out of Dr. King's book and apply it to our lives today, because of everything that's going on in our government on a federal level. It's ridiculous what's going on, if you ask me, but I don't want to go too much into that. I don't want to keep you guys here like Bob said, but we really just have to remember to always ask ourselves, what are you doing for others? What can you do in your personal life, in your daily life to help the next person? And that's really the way to go, if you ask me. And just to echo what Councilwoman Pineda just said, if there's any issues or anything you want to talk about, our offices are open. You can reach me at 377-6311. If I'm not there, my assistant Deanna will answer, and we'll definitely follow up and connect with you guys. So we really don't have too much to report on tonight's council meeting. There wasn't too much on the agenda. But if you're interested, you can talk to me after.
Did you increase the services and reduce the taxes?
No, I did not do that this meeting, not at all. But maybe someday in the future.
Before you leave, just want to congratulate you on your appointment. On that, we didn't realize we'd get as full of attendance, but we do have some cake here with your name on it. Can you imagine that? You can take a picture of it.
Oh, definitely. I appreciate it.
Can you spell your first name, please?
SHANAE. Thank you.
And then we have only 2 counts. We understand that there is a piece of this district,
yes,
which is, we really neglected John Rubo. That was brought to me by our Democratic friend George back there. So maybe next time we'll have a cupcake for him, because it's only a piece of it.
Okay, I'll tell him that.
Okay, very good.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay, very good. And City Council President, I was afraid that he was arrested already.
Gotta give me a little time. Thank you, everyone. How's everyone doing?
And we congratulate him. Let's give him a hand.
I remember when I used to come here as a candidate and asking for your support, and now as the City Council President, I'm very grateful, and I'm not going to forget that. I will be coming here regularly, but as I believe Councilwoman Corazon Pineda said, we do meet on Tuesday, so if we come in late, it's not a lack of disrespect, it's we got to do the people's work. Echoing what Councilwoman Shanae Williams said, there was nothing major done today. Most of the agenda was from the last legislative session. Going forward, we do have a Democratic majority. We're looking for some great things, but we did do some minor things already. We created a labor committee to help create jobs in Southwest Yonkers. We created a commerce committee to help small business, and we created a government oversight and compliance business. We're going to be creating a whistleblower law. We're going to be creating resolutions. So good things are coming down the road. Corazon is going to be sponsoring some legislation to help pregnant women for banning the box. These are things that are going to be coming out. We have a lot of time. There's 4 new council members. We're all learning how to work together, sharing ideas, and the common goal is let's get some good laws passed to represent the entire city, and particularly the Southwest Yonkers, which has been overlooked. We're going to be looking to see how we can get some foot patrols back down here on Riverdale Avenue, get foot patrols on Nodine Hill. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel. We just want to go bring back what was already here. If we work together, we could do some great things. Remember, We work for you. You need to tell us what we're doing right and also what we're doing wrong, and just always bring solutions. Don't just bring complaints. Captain, how many times they're quick with the complaints, but tell us also what we're doing that's going to be well. Thank you. I look forward to representing everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
There are never complaints, they're only service requests, you understand?
Absolutely. Service with a smile, Bob. Thank you, everyone.
The other
Thank
thing
you.
is, want to know, is she going to help women get pregnant? Is that what you're saying? What is
No. Slow that roll.
Yeah, but what is that all about? What are you?
Well, I had an item in that was introduced when I was a few years ago, a year ago or 2 years ago, and it was remain in committee. So I'm going to reintroduce it, and what it is so what I find is that parking, as you know, is not the easiest thing here in our city. So I want to make it easier for women who are expecting, so that they get access to temporary parking, handicap parking when they are expecting, so they can park closer to either their homes or the grocery store. They can park closer to the grocery store, and it just provides them less walking and less physical activities.
It's temporary assistance while they're going through that amazing experience.
I think one of the
Thank you, everyone.
concerns, Mike, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bob, please forgive me.
City Council President.
Yes.
The other concern, I know Miriam and I bring it up from time to time, it has to do with the library and the lack of parking that we have over here in the west side. It used to be that you had 4 hours complimentary parking. Now we have no parking at all, and it's very difficult sometimes, creating great stress. You're online, you don't get the book back in time, and you go out and you discover you have a parking ticket.
Well, Bob, you bring two main issues, but those are two. Parking citywide. I don't care where you live in the city. Parking is horrendous in the city of Yonkers. So it's not unique to the Riverfront Library. If you go to Central Avenue, if you go to Northwest
But if
Yonkers,
you go to that library, we have a place to park.
Number two, though, you do mention $4 is a lot of money. And we need people to go to the library. And that's a lunch. That's a bus fare. So we need to, again, we got to use business acumen, but we also need to legislate with compassion, which is something that I said today. So, we can't take it for granted. Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't have $4, and if we want to make the library a destination center, a building with resources, we need to give them every reason to come over there. So you do bring up two. That necessarily doesn't mean we solve the parking problem. But, bringing up the $4 is a legitimate concern, especially for our youth and our students. We need to give them every reason to come to the library, not stay away from the library. That's something that we'll look into, and thank you for bringing that, but I'm well aware of it. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
They used to validate the tickets for the garage in the library until a couple of years ago.
I was aware of that, and when I tried looking into that, why, and this is, again, it came up, that's why I'm familiar with it. I think it all goes back to business and creating revenue, and that's what, the city of Yonkers is a corporation. It's to create revenue, but it cannot create revenue at the expense of our residents and our most needy residents. Remember, government is to help the helpless, and by charging people that don't have, I don't think that we're doing a good service for our residents in Southwest Yonkers. But there was a policy decision why that validation didn't happen. We'll look into that, and we'll see if we could roll that back to give some services. Yes, ma'am.
Also, don't forget the people, especially the elderly people who have to walk down there and walk up, because not every bus stops by the library.
Well, when it comes to the buses, that's run, the B-line, that's run by the county. We're very fortunate that we have a new county executive, George Latimer. He's well aware, and this is something I actually spoke to him about, and it's a constant issue about the services and the quality of service, and maybe we need to reposition some of the lines, but that's a deeper process. There's no one on the city council that controls the B-line system, but we're fortunate that we're going to have partners on the county level, and even somebody as former councilperson Chris Johnson, who serviced that area, he's up there. We're going to have somebody with some compassion and understanding the issues.
And do you know that there used to be a bus stop right in front of the Department of Motor Vehicles by the library, and there was a sign that said bus stop, but buses don't stop there. So why can't they stop there?
You know what, common sense is not so common sometimes. I can't answer that.
It's definitely something that we can address, because the county executive had actually asked for suggestions about improvements that we'd like to see in our beeline system. So that's something that we can, I'll make sure to send him something in writing about that issue. That's true.
Because voice in the house. Thank you, everyone. And please welcome the questions. Send me an email. I'm always here. If I'm not here, Yadi, can you please stand up? Please stand up. I assure you, this is Yadi Ferreira. She's familiar. She knows the area. She knows the issues. If I'm not here, speaking to her is like speaking to me. Thank you again for everyone for receiving me, for the support, and I look forward to servicing everyone. Thank you.
Mike is always taking the cake.
We all want a piece.
Well, what a piece of the pie, right? Okay. Maria, you're going to represent the state senator?
What? I'm here representing the senator. My name is Maria Garcia. The senator is working so hard, and especially we have to credit her because the thing that she organized for the grandparents, she gave gift to them because they are raising the grandchildren. She decided to express some gratitude to them. And in December last month, she found some angels. And Lucy was working with us to give some present to them. And she organized some activities over there, and all the grandparents were so happy receiving the gratitude for the senator and the present that she has for each of them. Means that this is. I would like to introduce one of the teachers that I said we need teachers here because they are working with the students and they have to bring some information for the parents about that. She's working at hospitals, school, and I think I hope that she can come every month. I will. Thank you.
Thank you very much. George, do you have anything for us from the mayor's office?
Don't get a shovel tomorrow.
Pardon me?
Don't get your shovel tomorrow.
It's looking like the store.
Did you say the mayor shovels it? Is that what I didn't I understand.
To remember well that. Snow is going to assess tomorrow, so it should be.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Is there anybody else who has anything that they would like to bring up? Yes, please.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Carlos. I'm here representing someone who is the mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She couldn't be here today, but nevertheless, I'm here.
Thank you, Carlos.
Do you have any messages to bring to us? No? Okay. Okay, very good. And how do you spell your last name for the purpose of this?
Alonso, A-L-O-N-S-O.
Is there anything further that anybody has to bring to our attention before we have more people? We should have, I guess I needed to buy more cake, but okay, we'll do what we can. And we have some coffee, we have some cake, and before you eat the cake or start at the cake, make sure that they see that their name was appropriately spelled. Mike Cater and we want to make sure you go over there and maybe take a picture or whatever, so we could have.
I want to take a picture of the
memory. Okay. The raffle. Okay. Oh, the raffle, sure. Okay. Has everybody had an opportunity to, if you wish, last minute, to get a ticket? It's only $1? Yeah.
What do you with?
And then the attendance. If you have not signed the attendance.
Okay.
Here.
Okay, before we end, I also should have, I don't know where I am on this. Do you have the minutes?
I do.
Okay, can we have a reading in the minutes?
The last 3rd Precinct Community Council meeting took place on Tuesday evening, December 19th, was called to order by our President, Bob Stoff, at 7:45, Pledge of Allegiance. Mentioned that Captain McCormick and the police staff were out busy all day with Bob at a special program of Stop and Shake on South Broadway. Captain McCormick began his report regarding mentioned the seriousness of package theft, particularly at the holiday period. Follow-up issue, this is a major serious concern. Pam was present from my sister's place. She indicated that they were experiencing some of these concerns too. Some new business regarding Stop and Shake program is that it is very visible, and the Yonkers YPD is deeply involved in it. Last Tuesday, they had a Twitter program were launched, a good assistance and good response. It is a non-emergency mechanism. Bob Stoff mentioned praise and courtesy to our YPD regarding his own personal vehicle accident earlier in the month of December. Response was excellent and very professional. The minutes of the November meeting were read and approved as submitted. The treasurer's report was delivered by our treasurer Miriam with a balance of $555.62. We collected $20, giving us a new balance of $575.62. We welcomed, excuse me, County Legislator Virginia Perez. She spoke indicating a very busy season. Her priority are the senior citizens. New program for feeding and meals for senior citizens has been very successful. Toy drives are currently all underway. If you have questions concerning any of these particular issues, please feel free to contact Ms. Perez. She invited all to a special Three Kings program on January 6th. Still in the middle of the budget season, and the gap is still existing with new administration coming in. Hopes to have a new budget passed on time. Yonkers Coalition for Youth is made up of 30 organizations. They gave a good breakdown of their offerings. Approximately 300 youths are involved. They do a mailing. If we had questions or concerns, please contact the coordinator. They were having a special meeting at 1 o'clock on the Wednesday after our meeting, I believe it was, at the Riverfront Library. Carol was present from the South Broadway Bid Association. Thanked the captain for all his great help with his staff regarding the Stop and Shake, regarding the tree lighting, which was successful at Lincoln Park, raffles, entertainment, refreshments. Mayor Spano had a press conference and met with merchants and some new store owners. Nothing new of news in the Park Hill area, according to Mary Hoare. Welcome back our former treasurer of several years ago, Frank Arricchio. Good to have him present. We wished all, of course, a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all good things, and the meeting was adjourned at 8:40 p.m. Next meeting scheduled for January 16th.
Thank you very much. From somebody that was here, can we have a motion to accept?
Motion.
You weren't here. Okay. And okay, second by Miriam. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, very, very good.